Module 4, Inheritance Discussion. The terms superclass and subclass and what they generally refer to. For superclass, a superclass is a class in which many subclasses can be created, and the subclasses inherent characteristics of the superclass, and a superclass is known as a parent class or a base class. The subclasses are classes that are derived from a superclass, and they inherit the properties of a superclass while containing attributes of their own. What attributes and methods of these types of classes will be available to the subclass and superclass? With inheritance, a subclass will inherit all the members from the superclass, which are fields, methods, and nested classes. However, the constructors are not inherited by subclasses, but the constructor of the superclass can be invoked from a subclass. So the superclass will be able to share everything to the subclasses, and the superclass can get the constructor from the subclasses and bring it into the superclass. The advantages that inheritance has as Java developers in object-oriented programming is there are different advantages, but the main advantage is that it helps in reusing the code. The codes in inheritance will be defined only once and will be able to be used multiple times. And in Java, we define the superclass or base class, in which you define the functionalities and the number of child classes, which are the subclasses, can use the functionalities anytime. So multiple classes can be using the superclass and the subclass subclass functions in one. A lot of time is being saved through inheritance because you can reuse code. You have to rewrite the same code in all the different classes, and then it speeds up making projects. And the program structure of the code is more readable than in other types of classes, and the program structure is short and to the point and simple, which is more reliable because you don't have a bunch of code, and then if you have a bunch of code, something is more likely to happen. With a short code, you'll be able to identify your mistakes and fix the code, and you'll have less likely chance of having something wrong in the code or code going bad. And it leads into another point, which makes the code easy to program and fix, because you're able to find what's wrong in the code if you have short and concise code rather than long drawn out code. And it makes the code easier to change. So if you have to change something due to it not working, or you want to update the code, this way you can do it pretty easily. And it results in better organization of code, meaning you don't have one long drawn out program with so many lines. If it's a big project, you might have 1,000 lines. This way you only have short, though, maybe 100-line code blocks. In this way, they're easier to read, and they're easier to compile, and they're easier they're just easier in general, like simple. They're simple, smaller, which, has less problems in the future with code. And a simple example verbally of inheritance relating to some type of a general object that more specific types of the same object may inherit from, but still differ from. Well, an example is the superclass is a vehicle, while the subclasses would be car, truck, and motorcycle. A car is a vehicle, but is not the same as a truck. And a truck is not the same as a car. And a motorcycle is not the same as a car or a truck. But they're all vehicles. And they would inherit common things from vehicles that all vehicles have, like an engine and a gas tank and tires. However, cars, usually are smaller than trucks. And trucks, big differences. They have that you can haul something in them on the back with the hitch. And a motorcycle is generally smaller and usually can only fit like 2 people and doesn't have any doors on it. No windshield wiper. So that is a simple example of inheritance that is used in everyday life vehicles. So, and then module 4, inheritance discussion.